I grew up in the west side of San Antonio, Texas, known as the backbone of San Antonio. Back in the 80s, the 90s, it was, they used to call it a war zone. Yeah, man, I spent my whole childhood there to about 14 years old. It was rough. It was a rugged place to grow up. You had to be tough. You had to fight. I played football, I played basketball, mainly street football growing up in the west side where we would play tackle in the street. Yeah, it was a trip. But yeah, so I was always around sports. I was very athletic. I like to say I was the most athletic out of all my brothers. But I don't know, they probably have something else to say about that. But fighting was always a part of our childhood. We were raised as fighters. That's just the way it is. We loved to fight. I saw my brothers fight, you know, and I guess that I just love that fighting. And so we would get like a bunch of pay-per-view fights, a bunch of you know, different, you know, like seeing Oscar De La Hoya, seeing Mike Tyson. We would get all those fights on pay-per-view, and the family would get together. And not speaking of the backyard fights that everybody would have, but it's definitely been a big part of my life. My role model growing up was my brothers, my older brothers. You know, they were crazy. It was it was some crazy memories, man, some crazy moments that were made in the West Side. And my main role model was my mom. You know, my mom, she did everything she could to provide for us, raising nothing but boys. You know, she's also like my father. You know, she taught me how to be smart, how to do things the right way, and taught all my brothers how to work hard and never give up. She, you know, she's the best mom ever that anybody could ever ask for, you know, and she had it rough too, but she would work 2 jobs. She would wake up like at 5 a.m. in the morning and go to work, catch the bus to work. She would catch like 2, 3 buses to work. She didn't have a car, and she never complained. She just always kept doing it every day, and showed me and my brothers that no matter what, anything is possible. You know, no, it don't matter where you're at. It don't matter where you live. Anything is possible. If you want to make it, you can do it. You know, don't make excuses. Just work your ass off and do it. When I first started fighting, I started training out of A&G Boxing. It was off of St. Mary's right here downtown. My first coach was Aaron Zaragoza. He actually helped me. I was going through a rough time at that time, and he helped me, you know, get off the streets. He helped me. He paved the way for me a lot, you know, where, you know, brought me into the gym and showed me how to defend myself. And she just showed me, you know, that there was more to just being out in the streets. There was, you know, boxing saves lives, and that's exactly what happened. After that, I went to a gym called Raging Bull And so from there was Trini Escamilla and his dad, Trini Senior Escamilla. And from there, they taught me the true boxing technique. And Trini is actually the first guy that I saw doing pads. Coach Trini, I'll never forget him. And he played a big role in my life. He took me to the Golden Gloves. And from there, he showed me a bunch of stuff. You know, he showed me not just about the art of boxing, but he showed me, you know, how to be a legit role model in life. He was my role model. The gym closed down, and I went to a gym called TMB, Rick Morones Boxing. I trained there for a little bit, and then from there, I just stopped boxing, and I was taking the mitt thing more serious, and I just became MittMan Joe. From there, I realized I was a better coach than an actual fighter.
So forward, punches, right? You're starting too close. You're smothering yourself. You gotta work your way in. Okay? You have to. And don't be half-ass punches.
I've been with Fury Fighting for about 4 years. I have been wanting to be a cutman for Fury Fighting for a while already. And I remember in Humboldt, Texas, I went up to Eric Garcia, the president of Fury Fighting, and I asked him, can I be one of your cutmen? And he kind of looked at me and said, nah, not right now. So me at that time, I took it like, oh man, he doesn't want me to be his cutman. Okay, cool. But now I know why. I feel like I know why he said no, was because I needed to get more experienced. I wasn't ready at that time to be his cutman. I was going through a lot of deep things, dark things in my life at that time that I probably would have jeopardized my career, a good career. So years went on. I told myself since that day, man, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better as a cutman. So I just started traveling and started learning from some of the best cutmen in Texas, some of the best cutmen in the nation. Just started learning, just started watching YouTube videos, learning different techniques, and just learning how to work with the fighter, learn how to wrap hands. A lot of people think that being a cutman is just stopping blood. No, it's not that. You got to learn how to wrap hands. You got to learn how to. It takes years and years and years of learning, and you're never going to stop learning. So from there, I just soaked in all the knowledge I could from different cutmen all over, different coaches that knew how to wrap hands really good. And years went on. Then I got the opportunity in San Antonio. Eric hits me up and he says, hey, Joe, do you want to work this show in San Antonio at Cowboys Dance Hall? And I told him, I go, yeah. So I said, man, I got the opportunity I've been waiting for. So I went and I worked that show in San Antonio. Then he tells me after the show, can you come to Houston? I go, definitely. I went to Houston, knocked that show out. Then they had a show in Denver, and he asked me if I'd go to Denver. I said, definitely, let's do it. So I went to Denver, knocked that show out. After that show, I went up to Eric, and I told him, hey, man, thank you for everything. Thank you for the opportunity. And then he tells me, he goes, you know what, man, I'm just going to bring you on. Man, I've never told nobody, but I went back to I was so emotional inside, so excited that I finally got the opportunity I had been working my ass off for. And it was right there in front of me. And finally, I was a part of the best promotion in the nation. And I went back to the hotel and I cried. And I was just giving God thanks. And I was just telling God, thank you for never forgetting about me and for always, being by my side. And then from there, at that moment on, I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna be loyal to this guy. I'm gonna be loyal to Fury. I'm gonna be loyal to Eric Garcia until the wheels fall off. And there's a lot of times that I text him and I just tell him, thank you for the opportunity. I was in a very dark place at that time, and thank you for giving me that opportunity, the privilege just to be a part of one of the best promotions. So it was a show at the Boeing Center here in San Antonio. After the show, one of the guys, his name's Sean. He's a cut man. I took him under my wing, showing him the role. He's actually trains here out of House of Jiu-Jitsu, and he comes up to me. He says, "Hey man, you're in San Antonio now?" And I go, "Yeah." And I think that's what was said. I'm not too sure, but after that, I'm walking out, and the owner of House of Jiu-Jitsu, Jacob Landon, comes up to me and says, "Hey, what's up, Joe?" He's always been real cool with me. I used to train him. I used to be his boxing trainer, and he says, come by and visit me. And I go, all right, cool, let's do it. And he goes, well, shoot me a text and we'll set something up. That way we could talk. So I shot him a text. Mind you, I already knew what it was about, right? And I did not, in my head at that moment, I didn't want to be a coach no more. I didn't want to be a striking coach for a gym. I was more focused, and I still am, obviously, more focused on pursuing and being the king of all cut men, you know, the king cut man of all cut men. And so I came and I had a meeting with him, and his vision was, you know, we met halfway, and I said, you know what, let's do it, man. Let's build. Let's see what comes out of it. And from that moment on, I became the striking coach, started doing classes, boxing classes, MMA classes, and there's a reason why we crossed paths again, and it's destined for us to work together and just build a killer MMA team.